All right, we're now going to learn the daf for Friday, Tes Zayin Eor, Daf Lamed Aleph. We still have to be mashlim in the recording, both Daf Chav Ches and Daf Lamed. We weren't able to get the recording either for Daf Lamed. We'll be mashlim another time, but for now, we are 6 lines from the bottom of the Yamud, Daf Lamed Amud Beis. We are continuing with the sugya of Kriyas Yamsuf, with Shiras Hayam. Tanu Rabbanon, you see where I am? The second to last narrow line on the Yomud. Tanu Rabbanon, Chachamim taught in a brisa, Darash Rabbi Yossi Aglili, the Rabbi Yossi Aglili darshan that Shosh Alo Yisrael Min Hayam, the moment that the Jewish nation emerged from the ocean to their, when they emerged safely out of the split sea, Nasnu Eneim Lemar Shira, they set their sights to recite Shira to the Eibishter, to sing a song Tasha. And how did it work? How did they say Shira? So mutal al birkei imoy. There was infants that were lying down on their mother's knees. And there was little babies drinking their mother's breast milk. The moment they saw the Shechina by Kriyas Yamsuf, the infant picked up its neck. The baby stopped breastfeeding. They stopped eating. Amru ze keli vanve, when they said, "This is my God, and I will exalt him." Chevra, where did we learn this already? In Perek Aleph, we learned about how miraculously the women would give birth under the tapuach in the fields, and then Heimikiru Tchila, they were the first ones to recognize the Eibishter by the Yamsuf. They said, "Ze keli vanve," this is the Shechina, because they had already seen the Shechina when they were being born. Shenemar, and how do we know this? The pasuk says until in Perek Ches, from the mouths of Oilalim as infants, v'yonkim, and sucklings, little babies that are still nursing. Yisadata oiz, you have established strength. And what strength? Ozi v'zimras ka, in the Shiras Hayam, we talk about the strength of the Eibishter. Okay, beautiful. Then Reb Meir used to say, how do we know that even fetuses in their mother's stomachs said Shira? Shenemar, turning to Daf Lamed Aleph, as it says in the pasuk in Tehillim Perek Samaches, b'makeles baruch hu Elokim, in congregations and big assemblies, you should bless the Eibishter, Hashem b'mkar Yisrael, and you bless Hashem from the source, from the makar, from the foundation of the Jewish nation. So what's the source of the Jewish people? What's the source of Yisrael? The mother's stomach is where the baby comes out of. So from the makar already, that's where the babies already were saying Shira. Then the Gemara asks, one second, if their fetuses in their baby's stomach, how are they able to see the Eibishter to say Shira Yossi? A good question. So look in the Gemara, second line of Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph. So Amar Rab Tanchum says that Keres, the mother's stomach, and Nasa lahen kas beklaria ha'meira v'ro, it became like a see-through glass, the stomachs, and the babies were able to see out, and they were able to see the Shechina, and they therefore sang Shira together with the rest of the Jewish nation. Beautiful. Givaldik. Now, continue the third line of Lamed Aleph. We're going back to the last clause of the Mishnah of our Perek, which was all the Boi Bayoms. On that day that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah became Nasi, we had a bunch of drushes. The last one was Darash Rabbi Yeshua, that Boi Bayom Darash Rabbi Yeshua. That day, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hyrcanus darshan that Shalei Avad Eev Chulu, that Eev, the guy who had all this suffering, served the Eibishter. He doesn't know if it was out of Ava or out of Yira. Out of Ava, sorry. How did he know that Eev served the Eibishter out of Ava? Because it says in the pasuk, Heinik deleni lo yayachel. He said that it says in the pasuk, even if you will kill me. And then we had loy ayachel. Ayachel means I will hope for him. But loy, does that mean for him, to him, or does it mean not? Is loy with an aleph or loy with a vav? If it's loy with an aleph, then it means that even if he kills me, I will not hope for him. I will not continue to hope in the Eibishter, and meaning that he was afraid of punishment. And if it's with a vav, then it means that even if he gets punished, he's still going to hope for the Eibishter. So his love for his connection to Hashem is besides for the cheshbon of punishment and reward. So he serves the Eibishter out of love. But he said, Adayin adavar shakol. We don't know whether it's with an aleph or with a vav, meaning we don't know how we should read the pasuk. Should we read it that he will not hope for him or that he will hope for him? So he brought another pasuk that says, Ad egva, until I die, lo aser tu masi mimenu. I will not depart, I will not take away my wholeness, my completeness with him. So that other pasuk teaches you that it was out of love. Yeah? And then we said, I mi egale necha alfar me necha Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who was the one that said it, Daf Chav Zayin. Rabbi Yeshua said, who can lift the dust out of your eyes, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai? You used to say that Eev served the Eibishter out of fear, because it says Yireh, that came at the beginning of Eev, and now your student of your student is darshaning that it's out of love. Okay, beautiful. So now, 1 second, the Gemara asks, "V'lechzi hai loy ibel lamed aleph ksiv." loyhu ibn lamed vav ksiv loyhu. He has a whole question. If he kills me, I will either yes hope for him or I will not hope for him. Why don't you just look in the pasuk? Does it say with an aleph or does it say with a vav? Why do you have to say it by heart? Open up a Eiv and see what it says, and then you'll know is it I will not or that I will. So the Gemara says that's not good because every time that the Torah says something with lamed aleph, it means not. It's not true. Elameata. How do I know this? The pasuk in Yeshaya Samach Gimel it says we have this in davening every day. We also have it in the Torah of maybe Nitzavim, one of the parshas over there. B'chol tzarosam loitzar. In all of the Yidden's troubles, loitzar. So if it's with an aleph, it means that the Eibishter is not troubled. If it's with a lamed vav, it means that the Eibishter is troubled. Right? And what's the shaila? We're not saying chas v'shalom that the Eibishter doesn't feel our pain. What Yeshaya is saying is, if it's with a vav, then it means that when we have pain, the Eibishter feels our pain. But if it would be with an aleph, that means he's not in pain. It means that it's coming to teach you a lesson that when a person has tzaras, you should know that it's not really tzaras because the Eibishter doesn't do anything bad. So it obviously has a good purpose. So for the Eibishter, he sees the whole bigger picture. So for the Eibishter, it's not painful. For the Yidden, it's painful. Right? That's what Yeshaya is trying to bring out. But either way, we don't know. Is it with an aleph or with a vav? So, and it's written with an aleph. And the chesiv b'lamed aleph, hachinami deloihu. So are we going to say that it means that he does not have pain? V'chitema hachinami. And if you're going to say that taka means, like we said, that it means that when we have pain, the Eibishter is not in pain. V'aksiv, it can't be because later in the pasuk it says umalach panavei shiam that the Eibishter feels our pain and he sends a malach to go save us. If he doesn't feel the pain, why would he send a malach to go save us? So obviously over there it means it's written lamed aleph, which means no, but we interpret it. The pasuk actually means lamed vav. To him, when we have pain, there's pain to Hashem. So elalav mashma hachi umashma hachi. So elamai, you could read it both ways. You could read it either lamed aleph or lamed vav. Either when it says lamed aleph, it could either be read not or to him, and therefore that's why Rabbi Shulman Hurkanas had this doubt, and he had to bring the second pasuk ad egvale aser to masi mimenu, and finally he was able to prove that Eiv served the Eibishter out of love. Could you close the door, please? Thank you. Okay, now Tanya Reb Meir says in a braysa zoy nemar yirei lekim be'Eiv. It says that by Eiv that Eiv feared Hashem, that he was a yirei lekim. V'nemar yirei lekim ba'Avram. It also says by Avram that Avram feared Hashem. By Eiv it says it right in the beginning. Ish tamim v'yashar yirei lekim v'sar meira, something like that. Right in the beginning of Eiv it describes him. And by Avram, by the Akedah, we say it every day in davening. It says that the Malach said Ata Yadati after Avram was ready to sacrifice Yitzchak. He said, now I know that ki yirei lekim ata that you fear Hashem. So they're both called yirei lekim. Now, Rabbi Meir said like this. It says both by Eiv and by Avram. So my Yirei Elikim Ha'omer ba'Avram me'ava, just like the Yirei Elikim, the fear of Hashem of Avram came out of love. Af Yirei Elikim Ha'omer be'Eiv me'ava. So too by Eiv, he was God-fearing, but it came out of a place of love. What do we mean? That there's two levels of fear. There's the fear of punishment. There's the fear of Yiras Chet, of being disconnected from Hashem. And then there's the higher level of fear, which the higher level of fear is being afraid, is not being afraid, it's being in awe constantly. Shavisi Hashem lenegdi summit. That's the highest level of avodah. That's Yirei Lo. That's how we always have to be. That's how we should strive to be. It's very hard to always see your life like that every second of the day you're in the presence of a king, you're in the presence of Melech Malchem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but that's Yirei Lo. And in order to get there, it comes through Ava. So the lower level starts with Yira Tata. It starts with the lower level of fear, which is fear of punishment, or fear of sin, fear of being disconnected from Hashem. Then the higher level than that is Ava, and higher than Ava is Yirei Lo. So too, by Avram, just like by Avram, it started with Ava, and that turned into Yira, the higher Yira, so too by Eiv. And now, Avram Gufei Medolan, how do we know that Avram's fear came out of love? It says in the pasuk in Yeshaya, Zera Avram Oyavi. Yeshaya is talking to the Yidden, and he calls them the descendants of Avram, who I love, or my lover. That me and Avram, the Eibishter says, I and Avram were good buddies, we were friends. You use the word Ava to describe Avram's service to the Eibishter. So Avram's service to the Eibishter was Ava, which led into the higher Yira. Beautiful. So now asks the Gemara, okay, beautiful. There's Ava, there's Yira, it's all good. But what's the difference practically between someone who serves Hashem out of love and someone who serves Hashem out of fear? So says the Gemara, Ika ha d'Tanya. We have a brisa that could tell us one difference at least. Reb Shimon ben Elazar said that someone who serves Hashem out of love is greater than serving Hashem out of fear. Why? Serving Hashem out of fear, that zchus lasts for 1,000 generations after. Hashem keeps that zchus going for 1,000 generations after that guy. And someone who serves Hashem out of love, it's talei for 2,000 generations. How do I know this? Because it says in the pasuk in the Asar Sadibris that Hashem preserves this kindness for 2,000 generations. To those that love me, and those that keep my mitzvahs. So we're going to see that oyhavai means love. That's serving Hashem out of love. Shemrim mitzvahs, those that keep my mitzvahs, is referring to someone that serves Hashem out of fear because he's guarding the mitzvahs. He's making sure he keeps them well, and that's out of awe of the Eibishter. And it says la'alafim for 2,000 generations la'ayavai to those that love me. Okay, and it says in the end of Vayischanan u'l'shemrim mitzvahsav la'elef dar. La'ayavav is for those that love him, and for those that fear him, those that keep his mitzvahs for 1,000 generations. So now, 1 second. The Gemara asks, you brought me 2 psukim. Both of those psukim both give a number of generations. The first pasuk said 2,000 generations. The second pasuk said 1,000 generations. But both psukim both had ava and yira. They both said lo'ayavai u'l'shem mitzvahsai. So what's going on? Hasam nami ksiv lo'ayavav u'l'shem mitzvahsai la'elef dar. So says the Gemara, you're right. The Torah is trying to say both things, that you have ava yavira, but hai l'desamachle, v'hai l'desamachle. In Parshas Yisrael, when it says for 2,000 generations, it's referring dafka to the one that's right next to it. It says the number of generations before the ava and yira. It says for 2,000 generations for ava and yira. So ava is right next to the number. In Parshas Vayischanan, it says for ava and yira for 1,000 generations. So the yira is right next to the 1,000 generations. So you connect the ava to the one that's right next to it, which is 2,000 generations. You connect the yira to the one that's right next to it, to the number that's next to it, which is 1,000 generations. Beautiful. So therefore we see from here that love is greater than fear, because the one who's Isamei Ava, the zchus is Taylor for 2,000 generations. Okay, beautiful. And now we finish off the parak with a story. There was 2 students sitting in front of Rava. One of them told Rava, Akriyun b'chelmoi, was read to me in my dream, a pasuk in Tehillim Perek Lamed Aleph, Morav tuvcha asher tzafanta l'reicha. How great is the goodness that you have hidden for those that fear you. That's what they read to him in his dream. The other student said to Rava, Akriyun b'chelmoi, in my dream they read to me, a pasuk in Tehillim Perek Hey, v'yismuchu chol chaysevach, all those that seek refuge in you, Hashem, will rejoice. La'olam yiranenu, they will sing to you forever. V'yaltzu b'cha, and they will be totally uplifted and rejoicing and exuberance. Who? Those that love your name. So one guy had a pasuk about Ava, one guy had a pasuk about Yira. So Amar Lahu, so Rava told both of his students, Tarvaichu Rabbanon Tzadikei Gmurei. Both of you two are Rabbanim Tzadikim Gmurim, complete Tzadikim Chevra. However, the difference is that Mar Me'ava, one is a tzaddik who serves Hashem out of love, Umar Me'ira, and one serves Hashem out of fear. And with that we say, Hadron Allah Keshem Shamayim, we will return to you, Perek Keshem Shamayim, Perek Chamishi of Sotah, and now we move on to Perek Shishi. Perek Shishi, if you notice, if you turn the page, it's 1 daf long, it's the shortest Perek in Sotah, and we will hopefully finish the entire thing today. Okay. The Mishnah says like this. So now, it's actually interesting, Tosfos points out that this Mishnah, this Perek really doesn't belong here. This Perek really belongs all the way in the beginning of the Masechta, because we're going to go back to Dinim that we were talking about, Mamish Daf Beis, the first Daf of the Masechta. But a lot of times, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, the way the Mishnais was written in order to get people to remember Torah Sheba'al Peh. He wrote it in a way we had already this earlier in the Masechta, that when Rabbi wrote the Mishnais, he wrote it in a symmetrical, that the Mishnais should be easy to repeat by heart. And he wanted people to remember everything. So a lot of times in Masechtas, you'll find like a parak or two that's just reviewing different dinim that we had before, all to remember what's going on. So Misha Kinoi the Ishtay V'Nistera. So now we're going all the way back, mamish, to the beginning, to Kinoi, to the husband warning his wife. And we had a machlekes on Daf Beis, Amud Aleph, Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yeshua. What was the machlekes? Rabbi Elazar said that Kinoi, warning the wife, has to be with 2 eidim. The wife secluding herself to make her into a Sotah can even be 1 eid who saw that, even the husband himself. Rabbi Yeshua said that you need 2 eidim for both Kinoi and Stira. So now, Misha Kinoi the Ishtay V'Nistera, now Rabbi Elazar is talking in the beginning of the Mishnah, a man who warned his wife not to seclude herself with Ruvain, and she goes and secludes herself. So afilu shama me'ef hapei reach, even if the guy heard from a flying bird. It doesn't mean a flying bird. Flying birds can't talk, but he's giving a mushal, maybe a parrot. But he's giving a mushal that it doesn't even have to be a kosher aid. It could be anyone, any aid, even a eved, a shifcha, a woman. It doesn't have to be someone who's kosher le'edos, who, if he hears from that person that his wife secluded herself with that guy, yotzi v'yitin ksuba, he should divorce her, and she gets her ksuba money. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer, if he doesn't want to give her to drink, he could give her to drink the Sotah waters, because according to Rabbi Eliezer, that she becomes halachic Sotah, and he could bring her to the Beis Hamikdash. If he doesn't want to, he has to divorce her. But since it's him who doesn't want her to drink the waters, it's not her that decided she doesn't want to drink the waters. Like we learned earlier, she does get her ksuba because it's her husband's fault. She says, "I'll drink the waters," but he doesn't want to give her the waters, so he has to give her ksuba. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer, that is the words of Rabbi Eliezer. Now, till the end of the Mishnah, it's all going to be Rabbi Yeshua talking. So now, Rabbi Yeshua says, no. Ad sheyisu v'yitnu ba moizres bilvano. When do we say that the wife is going to become usher on her husband? Not when you hear from a bird flying by. It has to be a much greater suspicion. So really, in order to give her the Sotah waters, according to Rabbi Yeshua, you need to have two kosher edim. If you don't have two edim that said that she had secluded herself after the two edim of kinoi, so there's no Sotah waters. You can't bring her because she's not a Sotah. However, if the moizres bilvana, the women that spin threads by the moonlight, they're like the archetype, the stereotype in the Gemara. Whenever or Mishnayos, whenever we want to talk about people that gossip. Whenever we were talking about rumors, so Yisu Vitru Bal Moizres Bilvana, the women that spin their threads in the moonlight, they used to sit around and chat and hakachanik about everyone else's lives. So once they're talking about it, so there the doubt is so strong that it's disgusting for the husband to keep his wife, because the husband basically knows that his wife had secluded herself with this guy after he told her not to in front of two Eidim. Even if there wasn't an aid who saw it, but it's such a substantiated rumor, he should divorce her. However, he can't give her the Sotah waters, because according to Rabbi Yeshua, you need to have two Eidim to give her the Sotah waters. So she's not a Sotah, but it's not proper for him to keep her, to keep being married to her. Okay, beautiful. That is Machlekes Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yeshua. We already know this from the beginning of the Masechta. Now, Amar Eid Echad. What happens if one witness comes and he says, I saw that she had a relation with another person. We also had this Daf Beis, that not that he saw that she secluded herself with this guy. He saw the actual act of cohabitation between the man and the woman. So, there, she doesn't drink the Sotah waters. Why? Because since we learned in the beginning of the Masechta Raglaim L'Davar, since we have a substantiated doubt, we already have a doubt, because there are already two Eidim that said that she was warned. Two new Eidim came and said that she secluded herself. And now you have an Eid that Nach says that I saw the actual act of cohabitation. We believe him, and she does not drink the Sotah waters. She does not drink the Sotah waters, five Eidim altogether. She does not drink the Sotah waters. She has to get divorced. And she doesn't get her ksuba money because we believe this aid passion. And she doesn't drink the Sotah waters because we know that she cheated on her husband. And not only that, afilu ella, afilu eved, even if it's a slave who's never kosher to be an aid, afilu shivcha, even a maidservant who's also not kosher to be an aid, hareilu ne'emonin, af lepoisla miksubasa, we believe them to say that the woman cohabited with this man, even to make her lose her ksuba, because there's raglaim l'davar, we already have a big suspicion that she had cheated on her husband, because in front of two aidim she was warned. In front of two aidim she secluded herself. And now another aid, even if he's not a kosher aid, says that I saw the act of intimacy, we have big grounds to believe that what this person is saying is true. Okay, beautiful. Now we have five women that usually are in competition with each other. Chamoisa, a woman's mother-in-law, Ubas Chamoisa, the daughter of the mother-in-law, so a woman's sister-in-law, Vitza Rasa, or her co-wife. A husband has two wives, and he warned one of them not to seclude herself with a guy, and she secluded herself, and now this co-wife comes and says, I saw the act of intimacy. Or V'yavimta, or the woman's other sister-in-law, which means, Yivimta means that, let's say you have Reuven and Shimon, are brothers, and they each have a wife. They're married to Rachel and to Leah. Rachel and Leah are not related. But you have, Reuven's wife is Rachel, Shimon's wife is Leah. Reuven warns his wife, Rachel, not to seclude herself with this guy. And she does seclude herself in front of two Eidim. So, and then you have Leah, the sister-in-law, right, Shimon's wife, that comes and claims that I saw the act of intimacy. So why would she have an ulterior motive? She would have an ulterior motive because what's going to happen if Reuven dies? If Reuven dies, then automatically the Torah says they're going to become sister-in-laws. So she has the potential to become her future sister-in-law. So there's a natural animosity. Sister-in-laws, whatever. Everyone could maybe reflect on their own families. But the Gemara says that generally these five women have animosity towards each other. And Ubas Baila, the daughter of her husband, so it's her stepdaughter. Her stepdaughter also, if she doesn't like the stepmother, she'll have an ulterior motive to get her out. So over there we do believe them that they cohabited together. So the husband's gonna have to divorce her. However, since they naturally hate the woman in question, they don't have the power to make her lose her ksuba money. But we do award them the power to say that she had cheated on her husband, because there's so much raglaim l'davar, there's so much basis in this, because in front of two Eidim she was warned, in front of two Eidim she was secluded. So we say we'll believe her that she should get divorced. Okay. Now, Ella Shalatish, yeah, that she shouldn't drink the water. She's not going to drink the water. She'll get divorced, but she does get her ksuba. Okay, beautiful. So now says the Gemara, Shahaya Badin. We would have thought, we would have made a kal v'chomer that you shouldn't believe this one aid. Why? But then we could have made a kal v'chomer umayim edus rishona she'enei sarta yisraelam, the edus rishona stira, which does not make her usher to her husband forever. Why? Because it's just a doubt. It turns her into a Sotah, and over there, according to Rabbi Shua, you need to have two witnesses. You need to have two witnesses for edus harishona, which is stira. We spoke about this Dav Dalid. Stira, yeah, her secluding herself. You need to have two witnesses. And there, it just makes her into a suffix. After she drinks the Sotah water, she's allowed to go back to her husband. So Edus Achroina, the last testimony, which is that she actually had a relation with this guy, where there she'll never be able to be again with her husband. She's automatically ushered to be with her husband forever, even if she drinks the Sotah waters, which she can't because we know that she cheated on her husband. So it should for sure need to have two witnesses, because if the Eidos Harishayna Stira needs two witnesses, and over there it's not so crazy because she just becomes a Sotah, she'll drink the Sotah water, she'll get out of it. And there you need two witnesses to believe. So by Eidos HaAchrayna, by actual cohabitation where she'll always be usher to her husband, for sure you should need two witnesses, yeah? So why not? So Talmud Loimar, so says the Mishnah, we have a pasuk. By the way, this is not usually the way that a Mishnah speaks. It sounds like a brisa. It's a Mishnah, but I'm saying it's you should just notice that this is not usually the lashon of the Mishnah to make kal v'chomers and Talmud Loimars. Mishnayos are usually much more straightforward. But the point is, Talmud Loimar, so we have a pasuk that says, Ve'ed ein ba, that there was no aid in the matter of what? Of her cheating on her husband. What we already learned this, guys, in Perek Aleph, the first few dafim were the second to last line of Lamed Aleph, Lamed Aleph. Ve'ed ein ba, there was no aid in this, that kol edus sheyesh ba. Ve'ed ein ba, we know means that there are two witnesses. We learned on Daf Beis, and we're going to learn again on Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Beis, how the word aid in the Torah means two witnesses. Because if whenever the Torah says aid echad, that means one witness, but stam aid means two witnesses. So the aid ein ba, that there aren't two witnesses, there's one witness. So kol edus sheyesh ba, any witness that we have, even if it's one witness, we believe to say that she cohabited with this guy. Obviously, after we have edim, that there was kina and stira. Beautiful. So now the Gemara says, 1 second. We are not bringing a kal v'chomer that edus ha'achrona, that actual tuma, actual defilement needs two witnesses because we have a pasuk. But now we should bring a kal v'chomer. We should flip the script, put a kal v'chomer on the other direction. What should we say? We should say, so now kal v'chomer the edus harishona. Once you say the edus ha'achrona, that her actual cohabitation with this guy needs only one witness, so now you can make a kal v'chomer to edus harishona, to the edim for stira, that she secluded herself with this guy. Me'ata. Uma'im, turning to Lamed Aleph Amud Beis, Eidos Achrayna Sheisarta Yisraelim, the last Eidos that says that she cheated on her husband, which over there, it's making her usher to be with him forever. It's Harei Hi Miskayemes Be'ed Echad, we only need one witness. So Eidos Harishayna She'enei Sarta Yisraelim, Enei Din Tiskayim Be'ed Echad. The Eidos Harishayna, the Edim for Stira, that she secluded herself, which is not making her usher on her husband forever. Why? Because it's only saying that she's a suffix, and now she has to drink the Sotah waters, so there for sure we should believe one witness. If for actual cohabitation we believe one witness, we should for sure believe one witness for there. So again, says the Mishnah, Talmud Leimar, we have another pasuk that says, Ki matzo ba'ervas davar, in Parshas Kiseitze, in the Parsha about divorce, it says that the husband divorces his wife, Ki matzo ba'ervas davar, he found something promiscuous about it. It could have just said Ki matzo ba'erva. Why does it say davar? So it's coming to teach you, in Parshas Shoftim, it talks about how you need two witnesses to establish any matter. So ma lahalan al pishnayim afkan al pishnayim. Exer shava from there to here. That exer shava from dinei mamanis that you need two witnesses to hear. Kimatz ba ervas davar, and we learn that you need two witnesses for stira. So basically, each case, the fact that stira needs two witnesses, and the fact that tuma, that actual defilement, only needs one witness, each have a distinct pasuk. Beautiful. So now, Givaldik. Now, that's all cleared up, and now we have three cases that are going to be very fun to discuss in the Gemara, where the Mishnah is going to finish off like this. What happens if Eidim are nitmes, Eidim are lo nitmes? What happens if you have two Eidim that there was kinoi, two Eidim that there was stira? Beautiful. You have two Eidim that said the husband warned his wife, two Eidim that said in front of us, this woman and this man went into a room together after they were warned. But now you have one witness that says that I saw that the actual act of cohabitation between the man and the woman, I saw it happening. And then another Eid comes and says, no, I saw that there was no cohabitation. Or Isha Emeres Nitmes, if a woman who's puzzle Eidos, a woman's not allowed to give Eidos normally in the Torah in the Torah, edus is only by an adult man. So a woman says, I saw a nitmeis that she was defiled, v'isha imeres le nitmeis, and then another woman comes and says she wasn't defiled. So again, what does the Mishnah say? Hoisa shoisa, she would drink the Sotah waters. How come? Because since you have these two edim that are makchishim zeh, you have one eid says it happened, one eid said it didn't happen, and they are totally in confliction with each other. They can't both be true. So we discount both testimonies, and we say we're going to leave it as it was before, the status quo, which was that she's a Sotah, and she's going to have to go drink the Sotah waters. Beautiful. Now what happens, the next case of the Mishnah is Eid Omer Nitmeis V'Shnayim Oimrim Le Nitmeis. If one Eid says that she was defiled, I saw the actual act of cohabitation, and the other two Eidim say that, and two Eidim come and say that she was not defiled, says the Mishnah, Hoisa Shoisa, she would drink the Sotah waters. Why? Because they said that she saw that she wasn't defiled. But one second, if two witnesses come and say that she wasn't defiled, why would she drink the Sotah waters? They said, we know for a fact that they didn't have a relation with each other. That's as good as the Sotah waters to tell us that she's innocent. Yeah, Yassi. So what's going on? So Rashi says that what's going on in the Mishnah? The Mishnah is saying that you had one aid, you have two aidim that there was stira. Beautiful. We know that there was stira, but the stira lasted for a meshech zman. The two aidim that are coming and saying that she wasn't defiled aren't saying that we stood there the entire time and made sure that they didn't have a relation with each other. They're saying that you, other aid, are coming and saying that she was defiled. Well, guess what? We were there at the same time as you, and at that time as you, that you were standing there saying that she was defiled, we were standing there together with you, and she wasn't defiled. Then we left. They were still secluded with each other. It could be they had a relation after we left or before we came. But at the time that you're saying, the actual thing that you're saying is not true, because at the time that you were there, we were also there, and we saw that she didn't have a relation with the guy. So therefore, Hoisa Shoisa, she would still drink the Sotah waters, because the one aid that said that she was defiled gets discounted, because now we have two aidim, a better witness, a better testimony that says that she wasn't defiled at that time, and she has to go drink the Sotah waters. Then says the last case of the Mishnah, Shnayim Oimrim Nitmeis. What happens if you have two witnesses that say that she was defiled, and one witness says I was there at the same time and she was not defiled? So again, the two witnesses are going to cancel out the one witness, and Loi Hoisa Shoisa, she would not drink the Sotah waters because we believe the two witnesses instead of the one witness, and we believe that she cheated on her husband, and therefore she does not drink the Sotah waters because we have testimony that she had cheated on her husband. Beautiful. Now, moving on to the Gemara. The Gemara first mentions that Hi Talmud Loimar, Ki Matzah B'Arvas Davar, Talmud Loimar Ba Ba V'Lei B'Kinoi Ba V'Lei B'Stira Mi Ba'ilei. Why is the Mishnah using this? We Pashut had this exact Gemara in the beginning of the Masechta, one of the first dafim. We said we used that Ki Matzah B'Arvas Davar, that to teach you the davar, the Gzer Shava from Mamonais, from Parsha Shoftim, to teach you that you need two witnesses for the stira, for the seclusion, yeah? But the Gemara says, we know that from somewhere else. Where do we know that from? We had this in the beginning of the Masechta, where Rabbi Yeshua says, Ve'edein ba, that there isn't two witnesses, but there is one witness, ba, in this act, in the act of cohabitation itself. There the Torah believes one witness, but not by stira, not by kinoi. By kinoi and stira, you do need two witnesses, just like anything else in the Torah. It reverts back to how it usually is, to the standard of the rest of the Torah. So the Gemara says, Hachinami Kamer. You're right. You have to amend the Mishnah a little bit. You have to add some words. Kamer. Talmud Leimar ba v'lei b'kinoi ba v'lei b'stira. How do we know that you need two witnesses for the stira? Because it says ba. Only ba. When do you need only one witness? Only by the actual act of cohabitation. But by stira and by kino, you do need two witnesses. And now, the Tuma Ba'alma, then the Mishnah is going to say, B'chlal, Tuma, how do we know, when do we believe a testimony that a woman B'chlal cheated on her husband without Kina and without Stira? By Kina and Stira, we believe one witness because there's Raglaim L'davar, because there's big basis to believe it. But B'chlal, without Kina and without Stira, when do you believe two witnesses, when do you believe a testimony that says that this woman cheated on her husband to make her get divorced? There, we don't believe one witness, so you need two witnesses. How do we know? Because it says, Namar Khan, Davar, V'Namar Lalan, Davar, Gzer Shava, from Aroyas, from defilement to money, and please put that away, Yasi. And Mala, Lan B'Shnei Edim, just like in Parsha Shoftim, it's two Edim, Afkan B'Shnei Edim, so too in Parshas Kiseitze, talking about the divorce of a woman with cheating on her husband, it's also two Edim, beautiful. Okay, now the Gemara is going to discuss the last three cases of the Mishnah, and this is going to be a beautiful Gemara, so please pay attention and follow along, Yossi. We're by the two dots in the middle of Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. What was the first case? The first case was, guys, just a review, the first case was that if one aid says that she did cheat on her husband, that I saw the act of defilement, the other aid says you didn't, it's not true. So there we discount both of them and we say that she does drink the Sotah waters, we revert back to how it was before and she's a Sotah. Then, don't do that please. Then we had, the next case was if you have two Eidim that say that she If one aid says she was defiled, two aidim say she wasn't defiled, so the two aidim that say she wasn't defiled cancel out the one aid, and she does drink the Sotah waters. Then the last case was if you had two aidim that said that she was defiled, and one aid that says she wasn't defiled, so the two aidim that say that she did have a relation with the guy cancel out the one aid, and there she does not drink the Sotah waters. Please don't do that, Yossi. Thank you. Then, so Taima, so the first case, which was one aid and one aid. So observes the Gemara as following. Taima, the reason why we don't believe any of them is because they come makrish lei. It's because they're canceling each other out. So therefore, we just discount it and we say she should drink the Sotah waters. But if the other aid would not be opposing it, if there was no contradiction, and it would just be one aid saying that she was defiled, we would believe her. We would believe this aid. How do we know this? So we already learned this, 10 times. The Tanu Rabbanan, we have a brisa that teaches us ve'edein ba b'shnai makaz medaber. The Torah says that there's no aid in it, right? In the case of defilement that actually saw the Sotah, have a relation with this guy, but it says ve'edein ba. There isn't an aid. So b'shnai makaz medaber. So really, the Torah, when it says ve'edein ba, it means that there aren't two witnesses, because the word aid by itself in the Torah means two witnesses. So there aren't two, but there is one. So how do you know that? Maybe really it means that there isn't even one, which wouldn't really make sense, because then what are we talking about? But Talmud Leimar, the Torah says that there shouldn't be one witness to stand up against a man. It has to be dafke two witnesses to put a guy to death in order to testify about something like that. So if the Torah would have just said aid over there in Parsha Shoftim, I would know that it's talking about one aid. So why does it say aid echad, one aid? Why does it have to add the word echad? It's making a general rule throughout the entire Torah that kol makom shenamar aid. Anytime the Torah says the word aid, harei kan shnayim achifrit l'chakasav echad. The Torah always means that it's two witnesses, unless the Torah specifically says aid echad. So coming back to Sotah, it says ve'edein ba. There isn't two witnesses, because the word aid means two. Elama, there is one witness, and over there the Torah says v'hila nispasa. Let's see. So now v'amar Rachmana. The Torah says there is one witness, and she wasn't forced. She wasn't forced coming to tell you? It's obviously coming to teach you a chumrah that she's going to be usher on her husband, right? Because why else would it make a difference if she was forced or not? If it's not teaching you that she's going to be usher on her husband. So the fact that she wasn't forced, that it was a consensual relation, so therefore it teaches you that she's asura to be with her husband, and therefore she is usher even with one aid. Beautiful. We already know this. The Mishnah even said this. Now, says the Gemara, based on what we just said. Now, the Gemara asks a beautiful question. If the Torah believes one witness, the Torah says that this one testimony, that the woman was defiled, Yossi, pay attention. Other Yossi, also pay attention. Mikey, pay attention. If the Torah is saying that this one witness is believed, and it's a kosher testimony, so now, how could the other witness come and say that what you're saying is not true? Why? Ula said that kol makom she'amina Torah eid echad. Anytime the Torah believes one witness, harei kan shnayim. It's as if you have two witnesses. So one witness comes and says, this woman, I saw the defilement, so that's as if, Ula says, it's as if there's two witnesses here. And once you have two witnesses, how could one witness now come and say that it's not true? Right? And you're going to ask, if the Torah believes one witness and makes it as if it's two witnesses, so then it shouldn't be a double standard. You should have two witnesses on both sides. But that's not true. Why? Because the Torah believes one witness, dafka in the case, to say that she was defiled, that she cheated on her husband. So therefore, the one witness that's saying that she did cheat on her husband is believed as two witnesses. The other witness that says that she didn't is not believed as two witnesses, because the Torah never gives us a reason to believe him as dafka one witness, and therefore it's as if you have two witnesses saying she did cheat on her husband and one witness saying that she didn't. So who should we believe? Obviously, we should believe the opinion, the two witnesses that say that she did cheat on her husband, which is really one witness, but we believe them as if they're two. Yeah? You get what I'm saying? Guys, space in. It's a beautiful question. So how does the Mishnah say that now she would drink the Sotah waters, but we have two witnesses, as if we have two witnesses that say that she did cheat on her husband, so she should not have to drink the Sotah waters. So Ela Amar Ula, so Ula says, it's such a good question that Tani, we have to change the Mishnah. You're right. It's not possible that we could make this woman drink, because it's as if you have two witnesses that say that she did cheat on her husband. And one witness now comes and says that she didn't. You have to be following along the whole time, bro. We're like 15 lines from the bottom of the Yamud. So Amar Ula, so Ula says, Tini loy hoisa shoisa. You have to change the Mishnah and say that in the case where you have one witness saying she did cheat on her husband, one witness saying that she didn't, she should not drink the Sotah waters. How come? Because it's as if you have two witnesses saying that she did cheat on her husband and she would not drink the Sotah waters. Okay. And then V'chein Amar Rabbi Yitzchak also says the same thing. Lo hoisa shoisa. You have to change the Mishnah to say lo hoisa shoisa because it's such a gewaldige question. Now comes Rabbi Chia, and Rabbi Chia says you don't need to change the Mishnah. Hold your horses. For Rabbi Chia Amar, Rabbi Chia says no. Read the Mishnah like it's written. Hoisa shoisa. When you have one witness saying she did cheat on her husband, one witness saying she didn't cheat on her husband, she would still drink the Sotah waters. How come? It's as if you have two witnesses. So now the Rabbi Chia Kasha Ula, we have the question that Ula posed, that it's as if it's two witnesses saying that she did cheat on her husband. So what's going on? So like Kasha, no, Rabbi Chia says, our Mishnah, the case is Kan Bevas Achas. Our Mishnah is talking about a case where they both came at the exact same time, which means that before the Eidos was accepted, before the Bezdin accepted the testimony of the first witness that says that she did cheat on her husband, the second witness came and said she didn't cheat on her husband. So the chalois of the fact that we treat one witness as two witnesses only happens, when does that go into effect, Yasi? Yasi, space in, that only goes into effect after the Bezdin accepts the guy's testimony. Once the Bezdin accepts the guy's testimony, and in our case we know the Torah believes one witness, we consider it as if it's two witnesses. And now, after the Bezdin accepted the testimony, Takei says that in a case where after the Bezdin accepted aid number one's testimony, then aid number two comes and says that I saw that she didn't cheat on her husband, but guess what? We already have two aidim as if who said that she did. So we're going to discount your testimony, and there she wouldn't drink the Sotah waters. Our Mishnah is talking about a case, Tafka, where they came at the same time, before the aid was able to be accepted, his testimony, before the aid who said that she did cheat on her husband's testimony was accepted, so he's still counted as one guy. The other guy comes and says she didn't cheat on her husband, so now we have Eidos Makrisha Zeh. They're both contradicting each other, and he's not counted as two, they're both counted as one, and we discount the whole thing, and she drinks the Sotah waters as she would have without any Eidim. Beautiful. So now, Tanan. So now, going back to our Mishnah. So now we're going to ask a shayla on Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia, you say that it's talking about when they came together. Yeah? But now I have a shayla on you. Tanan, the next two cases of our Mishnah was as the following. The second to last case was Eid Omer Nitmes. One Eid comes and says that she was defiled, that she did cheat on her husband. Ushnaim Omer Nitmes, and two Eidim come and say that she did not cheat on her husband. So Haisa Shaisa, the Mishnah said that she would drink the Sotah waters, yeah? So the shayla is, it's obvious. Obviously, forget about Reb Chia, forget about everything for a second. Just look at the Mishnah objectively. You have one aid says that she did cheat on her husband, and two aidim said that she did not cheat on her husband. Yeah? Yossi, you're spacing in? Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen? So obviously she would go drink the Sotah waters now, because we don't know, we have a doubt. So it's so obvious. So why would the Mishnah even tell me such a thing? Because it's coming to teach you. It's coming to teach you what? Chad v'chad loy hoisa shoisa. The fact that the Mishnah has to tell you that she would not drink the Sotah waters if you have two Eidim that come and say that she wasn't defiled, the Mishnah doesn't have to say that. The Mishnah is coming to tell you that you should read in between the lines and read what? That if it was just one witness on one other witness, there she would drink the Sotah waters. Sorry, she would not drink the Sotah waters. And what? And therefore, we have to go back to the first case, which is one-on-one. And there, the Mishnah, we amended the Mishnah, according to Ula and to Rabbi Yitzchak, we amended it to say that she would not drink the Sotah waters. Why? Because we do believe the guy has two witnesses, and we say now to Rabbi Chia, if that wasn't pshat in the Mishnah, then the Mishnah, the second to last case in the Mishnah, is superfluous. We don't need it because it's obvious. So obviously, what's it coming to teach you? That if it was one-on-one, there she would not drink the Sotah waters, and we're right in our version of the Mishnah. So now Tiyufta de Reb Chia. So we're slugging up Reb Chia. So no, not so fast. Amar lach Reb Chia. Reb Chia could answer according to what you're telling me. Ema Seifa. Your answer is very flawed because you're saying, look at the second to last case of the Mishnah, and you'll see that obviously it's coming to teach you that if it was one-on-one, she would not drink the Sotah waters, which is what we're trying to say. But then he says, look at the last case of the Mishnah. Ema Seifa, Shnai Maimrim Nitmes. You have two witnesses that say that she was defiled. And Echad Eimer Lei Nitmes, and one says that she was not defiled. So Lo Hoisa Shoisa, the Mishnah said that she would not drink the Sotah waters. So now you're going to tell me that Chad V'chad Hoisa Shoisa, that's a proof to me. Read in between the lines. That's also obvious. If two witnesses say that she was defiled, yeah, so she wouldn't drink the Sotah waters. They cancel out the one witness that says she wasn't. Beautiful. That's obvious. So now read in between the lines that what? That if it was one-on-one, she would drink the Sotah waters. And that's what I'm saying. So don't bring me your shilas from the second to last case of the Mishnah, because I could bring the exact same shilah on you, says Reb Chia, to Ula and to Rabbi Yitzchak and shlug you guys up to. So Ella, so we're going to stand with Reb Chia. Reb Chia is going to be the correct opinion. And now we're gonna iron out some other details. Ella kula bipsule edos. So how do we make sense of this whole thing? Why is the Mishnah telling us the second to last case and the last case if it's pshita, if it's so obvious that two witnesses are going to cancel out one witness? So says Reb Chia that the whole Mishnah is all teaching you the opinion of Rabbi Nechemia. Ela kula Rabbi Nechemia. Ela kula b'psulei eidos for Rabbi Nechemia. It's all about psulei eidos, people that are puzzled to be edim, people that are not kosher edim middairaisa. And we're teaching the Mishnah that Rabbi Nechemia's opinion is correct. What's Rabbi Nechemia's opinion? The Tanya, we have a brisa that teaches us that Rabbi Nechemia said that Kol Makom Shemino Torah Eid Echad Halech Acharev Deos. Any place that the Torah believes one witness, you go after the majority of opinions. And that means that if the Torah says that one witness is kosher, that means that one witness is not a kosher witness. In the Torah, a kosher witness means, kosher testimony means you have two kosher Jewish men that didn't do any of the averos that make you pasal eidos, two kosher Jewish men. That's a real testimony. Once the Torah says that you could even have one witness, that shows what? That shows that we don't need a kosher eidos, and you could even have people that are puzzled to be edim to testify over here. Yeah, and Rabbi Nechemia says that anywhere the Torah is already believing puzzle witnesses, it doesn't matter who's the stronger opinion. Whoever has more people, that's who you're going to believe. So and you have two women against one man. It's as if it's two men against one man, and we're going to believe the two women over the one man. Another version of Reb Nechemia is a little bit less of a chiddush, but still it's going to prove Reb Chia's point. Reb Nechemia really said that if you have one kosher eid in the beginning, even if 100 women come later, women are pasal eidos, even if 100 women come later, they're all counted as if they're like that one man. Meaning, all the pasal eidim in one group are one eid. Okay, turning to Lamed Beis. But what's our Mishnah talking about? The first person that came and testified was a woman, so she's anyways pasal eidos. And now the Mishnah is telling you a chiddush that you're going to go after the majority. And here we're going to explain the Mishnah based on Reb Nechemia Azai. Reb Nechemia says that you always have to follow the majority wherever the Torah is believing pasal eidim. And if you have two women coming and testifying against one woman, it's as if two men come and testify against one man, where obviously we're going to believe the two women against the one woman. But if you would have two women against one man, it would be half and half, and there it would be equal. But now, guys, looking back at the Mishnah, how are we going to darshan the Mishnah now? How are we going to explain the Mishnah? Yossi, look inside the Mishnah. The last three cases are the following. If you have the last two cases are the following. Two women say, it's all women, let's say, or anyone that's puzzled Eidah, someone that's not allowed to be an Eid. You have two women that say one woman says, where are we? One woman says that she was defiled. Two women say that she wasn't defiled. Yeah? So you might think Pshita, obvious. But Reb Chia says it's not Pshita. Why? Because the Mishnah has to tell you that the halacha is like Reb Nechemia, that we're going to believe the Rav, even though they're all pasul eidos, and really, who knows who we should believe? The Mishnah is telling you that you should follow Reb Nechemia, that teaches you that you follow the majority of opinions. They're both pasul eidim, and by themselves, if it wasn't a case of a Sotah, we wouldn't believe them for anything. But since the Torah believes pasul eidim in our case, so you believe the majority of opinions. Beautiful. But now, asks the Gemara finally, the tarti b'psulei eidos lamali. Once we established that the Mishnah is talking about psulei eidos, that the Mishnah is talking about, let's say, women that are coming to testify, and the Mishnah is just saying that you follow the majority of opinions. Why do we need both the second to last case and the third to last case? Yossi, please stop that. It's making noise. Why do we need both the case that two women are saying that she was defiled, one woman says she wasn't defiled, and the case that two women say she wasn't defiled, and one woman says she was defiled? Yossi, could you wait 2 minutes to do that? We're almost finished. So the tarti b'psulei eidos lamali. Why do we need these two cases? So Ma'od you might think that Kiyaz Lina Basarev Deis. When do we follow Reb Nechemia and follow the majority of opinions in Pasal Eidim? L'chumra. That's only l'chumra to make her yes drink, which would be which case? Which case do we say she does drink in the second to last case, where one witness says, I saw her defiled, and two witnesses say she wasn't, so we say that we're going to go after the majority, l'chumra, to say she should drink the Sotah waters, just to be on the safe side. However, avalukula lo yazlina, but maybe we shouldn't do it to be makel, to have a leniency based on Reb Nechemia, that if two witnesses say that she was defiled, and one witness says she wasn't defiled, she doesn't drink the Sotah waters, maybe we wouldn't say that. So Kamash Malan teaches us these two different cases, that we always go after Rav Deis in Pasal Eidim based on Rab Nechemia, Kamash Malan, that's Taka, what we learn, And no matter if it's l'chumra, no matter if it's l'kula, our Mishnah is talking about pasal le'edim, and we're going to go after the majority. Hadron alach mishakine. We have concluded the 6th parak of Sotah, and we will return to you parak mishakine. Mirza Hashem.